quick recap, actually not even that quick, of how we all started, how this all became Cristini Athletics. I started it myself. Back in the 80s, I was the aerobics queen. I taught all the classes that you can imagine possible, kickboxing and step classes and spin classes and boot camp classes. And the kids were always with me. When Chris was about 13 years old, I brought him to the gym. He joined as a member because I told him he was 16, and he started off there. Actually, Steve, as well as my other son, Alex, were co-op students there when they were really young, about 12, 13, and they were actually cleaning the gym. So I had them always with me, literally. They were always involved. Chris became a personal trainer. I think he was about 18. I became a personal trainer not till actually 20 years ago. Anyway, I became a personal trainer at that gym, and Chris was also a trainer, and we left that place. I opened up a studio in my basement. I did kettlebell classes as well as personal training. Chris went off to work at Pavilion as a personal trainer and manager. He was also a Muay Thai fighter, and he traveled pretty much all over the world as a fighter. Steve was also into Muay Thai with his brother. Steve also competed a bit throughout the States. While Chris was a trainer at Pavilion, one of his fellow trainers said, Chris, we got to try out this CrossFit. And he took him down to CrossFit TO. And in Chris's words, that first workout kicked his ass, and he loved it. He said, that's it, I'm in love, I'm gonna do this. And he introduced it to me, and I told him, hell no, I won't do it ever. And he made me do it, and the rest is history. From there, we opened up the CrossFit in our garage. They did not give us our affiliate immediately. We had to write letters, and at the same time, Chris was still training, working, running CrossFit classes at the Pavilion. And anyway, we started in our garage. We had a few people. We had it totally decked out. We've got pull-up bars, which are still there. Pull-up bars. We got our barbell section. The plates were there. It was a heated garage. Our driveway, our grass, our rubberized garage floor was our weightlifting platforms. Anyway, so then Steve started out with us, and Steve was, that's it, I am in. Like, now Steve is not, like he will tell you, not huge into fitness other than Muay Thai, which was pretty grueling anyways. But when he started this, he says, this is what I want to do. I'm in this with you. I am your partner. You don't have a choice. So we didn't have a choice, and that's the best thing in the world. So from May to September 2009, we worked in the garage. At September is when we got our actual affiliate, when they allowed us to become official a CrossFit gym. So that year we worked out of the garage. We did everything. We still have some original members like Ala and Mario and Summer. Guys, if you can think of anybody else, let me know. Anyway, Steve decides about a year later, you know what, we need a bigger space. And we did, because we had quite a lot of people. We had about 20 people, I think, sometimes 27 at a time in the garage. And so Steve was on the hunt, and he's the one who found our first location that wasn't our home, and that was on Anderson Avenue. He found it one day getting off the go bus, and he's, Mom, Chris, I got a place, we got to go. We went. It was a mess. I can't tell you how horrible it was. The wires, I don't know, like miles and miles of wires hanging from the ceiling, but the family got together, this whole family, and we worked together, took that place apart and made it look sexy, which at that time, that's not what the CrossFit gyms looked like. CrossFit gyms then were grungy and dark, and we were totally not that at all. We went in the other direction. But that's okay, because that's what made us stand out. I was good. So then in 2000, I'm trying to think of the years, 2009, so 2010 is when we opened up CrossFit 2.0. 2012, we went and we opened up Reebok CrossFit East Woodbridge in Woodbridge, which is Chris's dream forever, that he wanted a place in Woodbridge, and that transpired. It worked out. Again, lots of work. But I think the worst work even still was less than 12 months after that, we decided to upgrade again, and we got this big location here in Markham. And this space was a mess. There was grease on the walls, on the floors. Again, a huge job, but it came together because our members came here and helped us. Our members, I remember taking pictures of helping us do the plumbing. We had 5 plumbers at one point doing work, and 3 of them were members. We had painters, we had everything, and it was a big community project, and we opened up here at CrossFit Markham. And the rest is up to you, Chris and Steve. You continue from there.
So that basically took us from 2009 to 2014, where we kind of left off last week. We went a little bit on a tangent about the flood. The flood was kind of like a big monumental event that happened for us. And then we left there, but what ended up happening afterward actually really was that we ended up with like the next 8 months of our gym in like the worst possible state. The insurance companies took a really long time to get anything done. Basically, half of our gym at a time was sectioned off with like these giant orange tents that was used for mold remediation. But for some reason, there was delays with the construction, and work that should have taken days somehow took over 8 months. And then when it was almost all over, they decided finally they were actually going to rip apart our bathrooms. They were going to rip apart our showers, the tiles, everything like that. So it was the flood was one big event, and then it was the 8 months afterward that was kind of really a long, drawn-out, shitty situation. But then after that was when things really started to turn around for Markham, because we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, because it wasn't we didn't look like a crack house anymore. It looked a lot better. It was starting to look like a gym again. You could tell that the vibe was starting to change. So ending off of 2014, that rolled into 2015. And now 2015 was kind of like a whole new year for us. We're back into our space. We have two gyms that were starting to grow. It was actually the same year that me and Chris finished school. So all the while that we had been opening up 2 gyms, we were both in school for kinesiology, which was like, part of it was we wanted to be the best possible coaches that we could be. Anybody can go take a weekend course, and that's great. But if we wanted to dedicate our life to this, we wanted to know everything that there is to know, even though we know that 95% of our members don't care what happens on a cellular or molecular level. Nobody really cares about the exact energy system that works. They just want to know, that I sweat my guts out? Am I losing weight? Am I getting stronger? But for us, it was more of like a personal thing, that if we can come at it from a performance sake, if we can come at it from an actual like anatomical sake, all these different things, it just brought more value to us and to what we thought we had to offer. So it actually was a great year, because we actually all of a sudden had freed up time. It was the first year that we were putting more focus now in terms of like, what does it mean to really run a business? Because from 2009 to 2014, that was not something I ever thought about. I don't know about you. It was, we had no background in any of that. It was like, expect people to pay their payments on time. If you miss a payment, I got to chase after you 3 months later and figure it out. We didn't really have any systems in plan. We didn't have growth plans. We didn't have like, what's our 3-year, 1-year, 3 or 5-year plan. Like, everything started to change though in 2015, because we now had freed up time. So even like me and Chris, we started attending more business related conferences, and started reading more things and changing our mindset a little bit. They seem like you want to say something. No? Okay. So that was kind of like the start of 2015 for us. That was actually the same year that we started introducing, at the time, CrossFit Light, which is now Light Fit, which was a big marketing ploy to crush people and make them think that CrossFit was hard and Light Fit would be easy, so you should join because of Light Fit. And then all of a sudden you realize Light Fit's really hard, so now I'll just stick around for the CrossFit because it seems easier. Which was cool though, because we had only had one style of class for a long time. If you came to the gym any day, it was always a CrossFit class. So now it brought in a little bit more variety to the classes and the offering that we had. So that was kind of like a fun class that we got rolling in 2015. I'm just trying to go over my notes here.
2015 also, we had, I think it was 2015 that Maria actually started working for us. She left her other career job to join us, where she started working 5 days a week with us. I think it was only a couple months after we got married. I'm pretty sure we got married in 2015, right, honey? It was 2015?
She's not answering you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know my shit. It's 2015 or 2014. Anyways, she jumped on.
Oh, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. How am I wrong?
I don't know if she went like this.
Okay. Well, when we got married, she started working for us. Okay. And he definitely added a different element that I can't. And I'm sure most of you guys know that it's a little bit different of a vibe when Maria's at the gym compared to when she's not at the gym. So she definitely added a different dynamic to the gym, which I think really, really helped out our community because for some reason, people, even women, talk to Maria very differently than the way they talk to me when they see me at the gym.
No way, really?
But yeah, she came on board, and I think that definitely helped out, especially because Steve was pretty much at the one gym, I was at the other gym, and I was responsible for everything to do with everything. We didn't have any other receptionists at the time. We didn't have anything, which is why we were closed throughout the day, and we'd only be open when there's personal training going on or when there's classes going on. So a big portion of the day we would actually be closed. So our mindset and our business experience was very different back then compared to how it is now, where thinking about closing down the gym for half the day is like mind-boggling because you're losing out on so much potential and so much everything. So that definitely was a big change for the gym and allowing us to grow a little bit more.
Yeah, so that was 2015. 2016, so we're moving forward here. 2016 was for the gym, wasn't a crazy year. For us, it was another kind of mindset shift because this was the year that we actually started putting together a team to make a run at the CrossFit Games. And we
sacrificed the gym so we can make the game, straight up.
So
there was zero growth.
The 2015 year, where we had a little bit of free time on our hands to think about other things, we kind of took a step back in 2016 because we selfishly decided that we wanted to be CrossFit Games athletes. But it was not something that I would ever change. I think what we did was an incredible experience in that even after that, I think it actually brought a lot back to our the way that we thought about our business and the way that we wanted it. Everything we want to do is always about getting better, right? And I think me and Chris and a lot of our coaches have been competitive CrossFit athletes for a long time. And I think the reason that we have an uphand on a lot of other CrossFit gyms or gyms in general is that our mindset is competitive. And it's not about being competitive athletes. It's about the mindset of like constant evolution, constant growth. And after that year was like, okay, what can we change? We're always saying, what can we change in our performance? What can we change in ourselves? It's like, what can we change in our business? What can we change in our the way that we're leading our other coaches? And I think that year kind of led us onto a really good path afterward. So 2016, the really cool thing actually that happened that year aside from going to the games was actually seeing our community show up to California. Like we had, do you remember how many people it was? We had at least 20 something people. Like I remember we have a picture at the CrossFit Games with over 20 people who flew out to California. I don't know if they really came to watch us or they just wanted to go to California. But they all showed up and it was an awesome experience to see a bunch of Canadians fly all the way down to watch the team, right? And it was partly because we had, it was two gyms coming together to celebrate one team and one really, really big community, but it was really, really cool. And I think we all really appreciated them all being there. Oh, sorry. So the end of 2016, this is where for a long time, we had been thinking about a way of branding one singular kind of unit. And, we had been running CrossFit Markham and CrossFit East Woodbridge for a while at this point. And our thing was always, how could we create more of like a single brand, a single identity to bring these things together? We had been thinking about it for a while, and that year, there you go.
There you go. That's all the people joining us. I know it's not very clear, but I got more.
I can't really see.
I'm sorry.
I believe you.
Okay.
It's better. Anyways, Kieran, go
ahead. So we had been thinking about it for a little while, and we never really had anything on paper, but we attended a seminar in November. It was in Montreal. It was it was basically a fitness business seminar, or it was a seminar, whatever. And that day was actually the day that we realized that we needed to move forward with creating a singular brand. I think we were driving home from Montreal, and I don't know if you said it, I said it, and it was like, Cristini Athletics. Like, it's got to be, we've got to have our name in it because this is a family thing, and it's something that it's part of like a long-term history. I mean, you know, taking it back to like when I was a kid, people would remember Anna Cristini because of the aerobics classes that she taught in the 90s. And I remember one time, I think we were in Buffalo, and at a mall in Buffalo, and someone was like, "Is that Anna Cristini? I used to do your classes. They're my favorite classes ever." Like, people in Markham knew Anna Cristini. They knew that name already because it had something to do with fitness. It had something to do with fun. And it was, to me, like, as soon as it was like, what are we going to do with our brand? It had to have the family name in it. Athletics was something where it was, you know, we didn't want to go with just like strength or strength and conditioning. It was something that kind of encompasses all different domains, especially because we do more than just, you know, strength and conditioning, or, you know, it's not just one single thing. I think athletics was kind of a way of encapsulating a lot of different variety and domains.
You know, I think my mom right now can expand on, you know, the reasons for changes of the reason why we changed our brand. And I think it clearly explains and gives people the big picture as to why we don't want to be known as just CrossFit Markham or CrossFit East Woodbridge anymore. So take it away, Mom.
All right, I'm actually going to read this out to you because I did not memorize it. Cristini Athletics is who we are. CrossFit Markham and CrossFit East Woodbridge is our registered affiliate name. To use the trademark CrossFit, we use an affiliate agreement with CrossFit headquarters to license the use of the name. CrossFit training is one of the tools and methodologies we use to execute that mission, among other training modalities. Cristini Athletics is who we are. CrossFit is part of what we do. First of all, we love CrossFit. Us as owners and the coaches around us all fell in love with CrossFit training. Many of us even dedicate all of our free time to competing in CrossFit. The point of distinction is because CrossFit, the fitness industry, and we have all changed and evolved. In 2009, we needed the name of CrossFit to give us identity and to let people know why we were different. In 2020, CrossFit has been an overused term, even to the point that it's being used for what is not true CrossFit. Also, the amount of gyms have grown at an incredible rate since 2009. In an effort to keep our own brand name standing out and standing alone, we choose to move towards our new name. We want to be able to control our own brand and not be associated with things that do not represent us. We are a gym of professional coaches that work with clients for life, not people who want a one-time good workout or don't want to be part of our community. We chose to show our brand, and the only thing we want to be is part of that brand. Controlling these images can't happen if I only associate our gym with the name CrossFit Markham / Woodbridge. Many folks think CrossFit is a franchise, so if they go to one, they can get the same service from anyone, from all the same from any other one. And that couldn't be further from the truth. CrossFit by nature is open sourced. It allows for the best practices and the best methods to rise to the top, while poor practices fall by the wayside. We've all been committed to learning from the best and applying the best practices for our community. But that doesn't happen everywhere. And when other services don't provide quality experiences, we get grouped into the same judgment while under a common brand. Sushi restaurants are not all created equal. Some may provide you with a magical culinary experience of the freshest and most thoughtful offerings, while others may leave you with a funny aftertaste in your mouth and a disaster in your pants. We strive to be the former. And that is it.
So in a nutshell, guys, we've evolved that, you know, again, CrossFit is definitely one of the modalities that we do use, but we do know that we're not a typical CrossFit gym where we encompass all aspects of fitness. So at the end of the day, whatever is going to get us fitter, we're going to do it, right? And we know that if we were 100% true CrossFit, we know we'd be doing one workout a day and that's it, or one lift a day and that's it for the day. But we know that, you know, there's so many more ways we can make you guys healthier and fitter. And if that means some of the typical movements you wouldn't see in a typical CrossFit workout or modality, we're still going to do it, right? Because at the end of the day, if something works, it works. It doesn't have to be, we don't want to be pinning our backs up against the wall and be like, no, it's not CrossFit, we can't do it. It's like, no, we're about fitness and we're about helping people. So if there's another way we could do something to keep people motivated, we're going to do it. And, it took years of refining to continue to do what we're doing. And I think something that, one of the reasons why we have such a good reputation with programming is because of our open-mindedness, because we have experienced, what the elite of the elite do to do programming and train. Like, we know what it takes, you know what I mean? We have the coaches, we have the experience, we have that, but we're also confident enough to know that not everybody needs that. You know what I mean? Only a small percentage of people need that. And you also have to understand that people who do that, their mindset isn't about being healthy. It's about competing, which has nothing to do with health, right? But we also have the experience on how to scale down to the simplest, person who has zero experience. And I think having the confidence, the experience, and the ability to understand what it's like to program from here and here, you'll be a lot more humble compared to someone who's like, well, I've never competed at this level, or I read a couple books and I think this is how it's supposed to be done, but you've never experienced it. So you're never really going to truly understand, what it takes or how your body adapts and how it adapts, and know that, like for me, my experience was everything I learned in science and my strength and conditioning courses in university, I had to throw them completely out the window, because if I stuck to those rules and those principles, we would have been left way behind, right? But, we've been open-minded enough to be like, well, I'm going to try it all and see exactly, what's the best way for each person as an individual, and what's the best thing and the best way to program for our community and general fitness, right? Because there's definitely a huge degree and variance in all of those levels. And we know that, I think with, again, trial and error, experience and all that, we found out what's the best way to provide, a good service to everybody in the community. Cam?
Yeah. So obviously it was a long thought out thing, and it was something that we knew that we wanted to do for a long time. We decided to put a pretty slow approach to a lot of things, just starting off with making a separate account. Eventually that led to like actual branding of, things that you see in the gym, different content, things that we're starting to put out. And it is something that we still plan on continuing to change even more as the time comes. So, you will see more continuous change in terms of branding and things like that. So that was kind of the end of 2016, where we started to implement, Cristini Athletics as part of our brand. And we started kind of thinking more openly and thinking less necessarily CrossFit, more fitness, more health, more general. So 2017 was a year of, we did a lot of different things. We were trying to do a lot of kind of giving back to the community. We did a couple different events. For example, one of the events that was actually ran by one of our members was we did these like Christmas boxes. And I don't remember, Mom, you probably remember, we made like 180 boxes or something like that. It was crazy. Right. Yes. Like, and what we were trying to do is essentially we were really starting to leverage our community. Right. And I've been kind of posting a lot lately where I'm saying, our mission is to strengthen communities, right, inside and outside of our gym, and by using the people within our community to do bigger things. I think that's what's probably one of the most important things about having a community. It's great to have a community, but if you don't use that community for greater good, then what good is it, right? So we started seeing the real impact that our community can have with something as simple as, Christmas boxes that year. We did other charity events that we see people coming together, and it was like, we have a lot of really great people within these two locations, and, in every way that we can leverage them, it's something that we needed to be, it needed to be part of what we do constantly, not just, once in a while thing. It was also a cool year. Our Markham location completely unexpectedly received an award for top 3 gyms in Markham, which was probably one of the first time we received any sort of recognition, from the community abroad, like outside of the CrossFit world. And it was completely unexpected, which was a great surprise. I mean, like, we are a family business. We were grassroots startup. It wasn't, somebody who threw $1 million at it and said, here, go open up the greatest gym in Markham. It was just something that started small, and we built it in, and put a lot of hard work in it. And, we were starting to see a little bit of those benefits. It was also a year that we started expanding our coaching roster. So Coach Alex started coaching at Markham. He had actually been a member since he was like 14. No, was he 14? Something like that. Yeah. He got dragged in by his older brother, and he wanted to coach by the time he was like 17. And I just kept saying, no, 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 no. But once he was, I think, 19, he had been helping out with our teens program for a long time. And I finally said, okay, let's get you in front of a class. I don't think I heard anybody stumble and mumble as much as he did on his first day, but he since then has grown into like an incredible coach. And I think everybody who's ever worked with Alex knows how passionate he is about what he does. And he's amazing at it. Like he's really, really grown into the position, and it's great to see his growth. At Woodbridge, actually, so then we had 2 people start working with us at Woodbridge. I'll leave Woodbridge to Chris.
Go ahead.
Okay. So it was also the first year that we could afford a receptionist.
We couldn't afford it yet. We knew we needed one. We didn't know if we could afford
sorry.
it. We kind of just went with it.
We hired a receptionist hoping that we could afford her.
Yeah.
So for the first time we had, aside from family members, we had somebody answering calls and doing emails and all that, it was definitely important. It was something that we needed to do to be, number one, more organized, but also free up our time from a lot of the daily small things that they can eat up a lot of your time, essentially. And I mean, it was at the right time. It was definitely, like he said, it was a bit of a gamble, but we made it happen. So that also started that year. And then the last thing was actually also at Woodbridge. Rob, was it 2017?
Yep.
Okay, so Rob, who was also a longtime member at Woodbridge, had slowly be kind of growing into a coaching role. It was meant to be a part-time thing to fill up some classes. We were looking for coaches at Woodbridge, and he went and got his level 1. I think you got your level 1. We didn't even know at first, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So he went and got his level 1. We didn't even realize it at first. And we didn't even realize that he was actually looking to do any coaching. It just kind of came up one day, and he was like, hey, I took my level 1. And he started shadowing. He started hanging out, watching, paying a little bit more attention. If anybody knows Rob, and everybody knew that, going forward, like originally he was the guy who gamed every workout. He thought more about every workout than anybody had ever thought about any workout. He was also the guy that remembered every other person's open score, like ever. And that, the way he could like pull out certain numbers, he'd be like, yeah, but you did this score on this. I'd be like, I did? Right. And it was, so he had a different way of thinking about workouts than most people. So he brought something totally new to coaching right away. And then once he kind of developed a sense of, what it's like to actually stand in front of the class versus being a part of the class, he grew into a role really quickly as well. And now, I mean, he's a part-time coach still for us, but he's works like a lot of part-time hours, we'll put it that way. But he's now, I mean, even right now, like him and Sandra are running, they've got their every Tuesday, they're putting out workouts, and he's putting out a lot of his own, not just content, but like a lot of great information to keep people mentally strong, to keep people thinking differently about workouts. He brings a lot of different things to the table. So it was another great addition to our coaching staff. That was 2017. Do you want to do 2018?
You're doing good. Keep it going.
Getting tired here. So 2017, 2018 was, that was the year that we decided to just kind of take on something new, which was hosting competitions. We had always kind of hosted small events in the past. We always did our members competition. And the Granite Games was starting their local throwdowns. I decided to put my name in the hat to see if we could get the location. We ended up being the only Canadian location to host one of these Granite Games throwdowns. And if anybody knows Granite Games is a huge event that happens every year in Minnesota. And basically you ran your own competition. It was something to do for your own community. And it was kind of like an old school feel because it was back in the gym. CrossFit competitions had gotten to the point where they weren't, a lot of the times they were at a venue, they were at some place, which is great, don't get me wrong. But when we first started, CrossFit competitions were grungy in the gym. It was a long day and it was, tightly packed, but it was something special. And there was kind of like a crazy vibe to those days. And we hosted our first Granite Games event. which ended up actually being the largest Granite Games event in the world. And it just so happened to be that it was ours. And it was so cool because what it really did was it re-sparked a certain competitive kind of feel within our gym. Back in the day, when we had a lot of focus that went towards our members in terms of like getting them to compete, because our goal was to get people to compete at a high level, right? We had our Cristini programming, we did like private, athlete only training sessions, which was a little bit too elitist, and it kind of actually separated our community in not a good way. But with the Granite Games, because it was all about intermediate and it was all about beginners, it sparked all of the new members and the people who may have been newer members to the gym that didn't even see that culture, to have a little bit of like more, they wanted to work harder than just the classes now. It wasn't just about the classes anymore. It was about getting that first double under so that this way when their competition comes up, they can do double unders. It also, the team format was the best because it brought a lot of people close together. So a lot of people were making teams with people they barely even knew. We even had some people from Markham teaming up with people from Woodbridge, and they became really good friends out of it. Like, Rose, how many times did you compete with your team? And now if I try to get you guys to compete on a team, you're like, no, we're a solid team. Like, we're besties because of those teams, right? And it creates like a special bond. But we had so many friggin' teams between the two gyms that there's all these like really super tight knit bonds, and it did something that really strengthened the community, so that every time we ran another competition, everyone was like, yeah, get the team, let's do this. Because every time there was a competition, someone got their first toe to bar and somebody got their first double under, and it wasn't about winning. It wasn't about being on the podium. It was just about having fun with new friends and striving to work extra hard. 8 weeks out and I've got a competition, I'm going to work extra hard. And it became part of our flow within our gym. It was like, now we know we're going to have certain key markers throughout the year that we're going to use as, things that we ramp our members up, and then we take it down for a little bit, and then we'll run a shred challenge, and then we'll ramp it down for a bit, and then we'll do our members comp. And it started to create this really good flow in 2018. And it's something that, our members comp was actually supposed to be like next month, but obviously everything's all over the place right now. But it started to create a really cool flow, and we had this kind of competitive atmosphere without it being the way that it was last time. And I think it was actually the way that we originally intended it to be. It was originally a little too elitist, like I said. So that was really cool. It created a really cool vibe within the gym. I remember even saying to Chris when we were right before hosting the event, I was like, the vibe in the gym lately is awesome. It reminds me of the old school days, but it's positive. It's super, super, super positive. And I was really excited about it. It was a lot of fun. You want to add on that?
Oh, that was in 2019. Go.
Yeah, reminded us of the old days.
And your mother won, by the way. Your mother won that.
That's right, and she won the whole competition.
That's right, and people called you out. They're from other gyms. They're like, bullshit. They have coaches competing in the Granite Games competition, and they're hosting their own competitions. Like, my mom is competing in the competition, and she's like twice your age. Okay, and people were calling her out because she was a coach of an owner of the gym. It's like, guys, relax. You're 20 years old and you're calling out my mom. Like, come on. So that was actually pretty cool.
I'm just trying to look where I'm at for 2018.
2019.
Okay, so we're getting there. 2019. Oh, sorry. Actually, well, to finish off 2018 then was we transitioned out of the Granite Games competitions, and we decided we're going to roll our own thing. We learned a lot from running it with them, but we started our Cristini Athletics Winter Classic that year. The Winter Classic was meant to be our own thing because the Granite Games wasn't going to run something that year in December. But it ended up being really successful, and we decided, you know what, we're good to keep rolling on our own now. And again, it's something about having a personal name on your own branding and running your own events that I don't know, you put more ownership on it, right? So we decided to start that event, which ended up going really well. Obviously, in 2019, we ran our second one, which was even better. And it will definitely be something we continue to run. And that was ended off 2018. 2019, the biggest highlight for us in 2019 was our lead up to our 10-year anniversary. So, a couple weeks or months out, actually, I started planning the event of our 2019, 10-year anniversary celebration, because it was obviously a big thing. I mean, most most businesses, what's the stat on how many businesses don't make it to the 10-year mark? Like,
It's, I think 80% of businesses close within the first 5 years, and then it goes like, it's again like another 80% after the 10 years last. So it's really like a 10% chance of surviving 10 years.
yeah. So, you know, we realized it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like to say like, we're there, we made it. It was just like,
We survived.
we survived what we got there. We're at the 10-year mark. You know, it was definitely something we needed to celebrate, but we also realized we needed to continue making changes, because if we wanted to have a 20-year anniversary, then we can't keep doing the same way that we were doing. So, you know, September of 2019, we had our big anniversary event. You know, we had the jumping castle, we had the gelato, we had barbecue, and we had a big workout. We had a huge crowd show up, and it was an awesome event. We were really fortunate to have such an awesome community to come together and help celebrate that day. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was.
I think the 10-year mark was a big milestone for us, because there's a lot of reflection after 10 years. Like, holy shit, we didn't make it. We survived 10 years, right? And you're like, okay, so how can we make the next, 10 years 10 times better, really, right? And we started to think of what we've been building, what we've had to go through to come to where we were, and thinking about, going through, like saying, we tried to create like competitive athletes. And then we went to, finding the Granite Games competition, Cristini Athletics winter competition. And we started to realize that it's not about the competition, it's about the kind of community that we're breeding. And I think that was our aha moment with 2019, to know that our community, like, we compete not because we want to, we want to win, but we force people to compete because this is the only way you can physically, mentally, emotionally test yourself in and not die, right? Dying is relative, but it doesn't matter if you've never done a competition before. It's not about you winning. Your winning is competing in that competition. It's stretching yourself, getting yourself to another level that you never thought was possible. Especially CrossFit allows people after 30 years old to still feel like they have a physical purpose. 15 years ago, you're 30 years old, you're done. You haven't played hockey or soccer or anything competitively for years. Like, you're pretty much done, right? And this it completely changes your mindset, where it's like, okay, well, let me think of a goal. Let me get uncomfortable. Let me execute. Let me see how I perform. And then I get to reassess myself and see how I did and what can I do to be better. And really, if you think about it, this is preparing, as corny as it sounds, these are the exact same principles that prepare you for life and for you to be successful, right? And if you're doing it in the gym every single day, what is my goal, right? This is what I want. And these are the things that I need to do to get there. Once I compete, or once I get that goal, I reassess. Is it, like, say you competed for the first time. Wow, I did so good. I'm so proud of myself for competing. Never thought I could have, but I realized I got to get better cardio. Or maybe I realized I got to drop 20 pounds, or I got to get stronger. So that, okay, I got to that goal, and now I see what weaknesses came up, and now it's time to not be like, oh, well, I'm shitty at squatting, so I'm gonna quit. It's like, no, what do I got to do to get that better? And you keep on doing that. And again, it's the exact same principles of being successful outside of the gym. And we started to realize, like, as long as we keep practicing these principles daily in the gym, this becomes who we are, and it becomes who we are outside of the gym. And that's why we think that our community, the people who belong here, are not your average Joes. They're people who you're just by being a part of our group, you're forced to want to push yourself every single day, because if you're not pushing yourself, you're not going to last. You're not going to be here. You're not going to connect with the members. So you just become a product of your environment, and you're always striving for success. And again, it doesn't have to be financially. It could be, emotionally. It could be something very simple. But again, you're practicing these principles every single day. Here's my goal. Here's my program to get me there. Then I'm going to test myself. And you keep going over and over and over again, and know that within time, you're going to get better and better. And you're doing with all the other people that you care about. And then we start to look at all these people. We're like, these people, I've seen people come to me and tell me, Chris, since I got here, since I became a member, that I've actually moved up in my career. because my attitude changes, because I carry myself differently, because I know that if I can do this and I'm willing to kill myself every single day at the gym, when I go to work, it's a piece of cake. I can push, I can get to that next level. And we start to realize that we have a bunch of special people here, and it's not just the coaches, it's not just the best CrossFitter in the gym, it's every single one of us, because we all, whether we like it or not, are living by the same principles of success. And I think people want to be a part of that. It's not about, again, it's not about how big your arms are, or, you know, how ripped your abs are. It's everybody understanding how lucky we are that that person is there beside me working out every day, because I know that person's getting better and wants to get better, and it forces me to level up. And we're all doing that. And I think that was our biggest aha moment, I think, last year, when we're like, we have such a special group of people, and we're just continuously growing those types of people. We're not like a big box gym that has thousands of members, because there's not that many people. Like if they had to take the percentage of people who think like that, they're going to be a lot smaller. And that's why it takes a lot longer to grow. And we realize that the people that we're growing, like, we don't want to have 500 members at one gym, because, well, our gyms would probably be too small. But to find the quality of those people is going to take a long, long time. And we know that the people that we have are lifers, because they know that mindset. And again, it's, yeah, the exercising is great, but it's people having that mindset and understanding that you can't get that anywhere else, right? And I think that was the biggest thing. And we were trying to also think about, how can we let people understand that this is what makes it special, and that's what makes you guys special, because these are the principles of success, and we're controlling it every single day by choosing to go to the gym, by choosing to think of goals, and by choosing to put in that effort to get to our goals, because we becoming more in control of our lives. And the more we're in control, the more we want, and the more we're going to do. And that's what motivates me. You know, before it used to be, it was all about fitness and winning. It's like, it's not that for us anymore. It's a whole other level. And I think it came to, like, when we talk about it, sometimes it's, the fitness is secondary. It's the mindset and those principles is primary. Like those mental changes are what are going to allow those physical changes anyway. So I think that was the next level, and realize that's what's been separating us. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, I crushed my workout. It's getting everybody to believe and live by those principles, whether they realize it or not. But that was really empowering and impactful for us to know that it goes way beyond giving me a deadlift PR, even though Sandra can deadlift more than me. But it was a lot more motivating, and it gives us a lot more purpose to realize, like, oh, am I just a personal trainer? Am I just a CrossFit gym owner? It's like, no, we're on such a different level. Like, we do CrossFit, but this is who we are, and this is what we live by. And that's been the biggest separation for us. And it's like, I'm just speaking out loud. It's just like, how can we continuously let everyone know that you guys are just as responsible for us living this way, right? And letting you guys know, whether you realize it or not, like that's what makes us so special. Okay.
I think you got it all.
So
that brought us to
2020 now. And again,
2020 has been short so far.
Yeah, it's been short, it's been interesting. But again, there's a reason why a lot of you guys are still connected and still working out, and still not, well, you know, shit, the gyms are closed, life is closed down, so I'm just gonna, you know, get fat and, you know, just take this as a lull, or I'm just gonna, like, the next 2 months of our lives don't exist. It's like, no, it matters more so now than ever, right? And how we choose to treat these next couple of months is going to say the kind of person you are. But again, by being online right now, it shows the kind of person you are, and seeing how many people we still have being active and we're in contact with, compared to the other gym owners that we talk to. We're on a different level, right? But it doesn't seem like we're on a different level, because this seems normal. It's like, well, why wouldn't you want to do this? Why would I want to do nothing? I'm going to feel like shit, or I'm going to get worse, and all that effort I put in to all the training I've done before, I'm going to let it go to waste, right? And it seems like, why would anyone even think about that? But you'd be surprised, there's more people that think about that than think about actually trying to stay positive and trying to actually move forward, not just being like, oh, I just want to try to stay the same I am, stay the same for the next 2 months and then get better. It's like, no, we want to get better now. And there's different variations, and understanding that there's the little PRs will eventually become a huge PR, right? And it doesn't have to be like, well, I'm not going to max out of my squat. It's like, well, maybe I'm going to increase my flexibility. Maybe I'm going to pay attention to my diet. Maybe I'm going to start to work out 5 days a week instead of 4. So this way I, make it more of a regular part of my routine, right? So there's a lot of little wins that we can have through this, and it's going to carry us forward post-COVID.
We're at 50 minutes. You want to have some time to talk questions or comments or anything like that?
I have a comment.
Yeah. Guys, if you
I can.
go ahead, yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to thank all 3 of you, because I never got a chance to thank all 3 of you. Actually 4, Maria too, for what you guys did for me when I had my baby, which was going to be almost 5 years from now. I mean, already. I was not in a good place, physically, financially, emotionally, and you guys quickly recognized it and basically said, bring the baby, we'll watch the baby, go work out. You can spend 5 minutes on the row, or you can spend all day here. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to make fun of you. Like, we're here for you. We're here to support you. Just start moving. And I did. And I not only became a better version of myself physically, but I learned resilience. And sorry, I'm going to get emotional. Thank you guys.
Cry.
Thank you for doing that. And I think this is what makes you different from so many other gyms, is your compassion and your empathy and your sincere care for your clients. And I really, I wanted to thank you guys, because I never got a chance to thank all of you. And I know I've come and gone a bunch of times, but this is what makes you come back. This is what makes people like Alice stay for 10 plus years. So yeah, keep up the good work.
Thanks, Kat.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know what? Again, that just goes to show, again, we're a family-run business, and understand that, it's not clear cut with us, right? And we understand that the more we care for people, it's always going to come back to us. The more we care for people, and I think we said the last talk too, when we, not that we looked at everyone as a dollar amount, but when we just started focusing on the more we care for people, the more we're going to get back. That's literally been our secret. You know what I mean? Like, just showing compassion and showing people that they're real people, they're just a number. That's been the biggest, change. And again, it takes 10 years perspective to realize how many people we saw leave us because they weren't sure, okay, I kind of am not into it anymore. And to see over the years how many people actually came back to us because of that reason, right? And they realized that you know what, they can go somewhere like a beautiful gym that has saunas and this and that I would like to have one day. But again, it doesn't have the people, it doesn't have the mindset, it doesn't have the training, it like what you're actually going for, it's not giving you that, right? And that gave us the confidence to know that, you know what, we're doing something right, and we have to continue to do it, and obviously keep refining it, but know that our principles and our mindset is in the right place. And our members speak for itself again, right? Like, that's when we hear things like that, that's just going to keep motivating us and let us know that we're doing something right, and we're making a difference, right? Because it takes years to go through something like that, where you don't realize, are we making a difference? Are we just like everyone else? But then you start to realize no. And then we just want to keep on getting better and better and better, and try to offer services that you can't get anywhere else. And our coaches, I think, I would say up until 2017, 2018, it was me, Steve, and my mom trying to take care of all the responsibilities. And now we have such a great community that it's like, our coaches are extensions of us, and they represent us and we represent them. And they've been doing the exact same thing. And we've laid down the foundations that we're having people come up and tell us the same things about our coaches all the time. And it's amazing. And it's amazing knowing that we're able to affect more people that way, because, our coaches could be like, they're contractors. They can be like, you know what, after my class, I'm done. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm done. I don't have to do anything. I'm going home. I can turn my phone off. I never have to pick up my phone until I come back to that class or see that one personal training client, blah, blah, blah. And they are the exact opposite. They're like, you know what? How can we help our people? How can I connect? Like they've been going above and beyond, you know, and
Especially even now. Like,
yeah, how many are on right now, right? How many, and they don't have to be on, right? And it just goes to show that they have the exact same buy-in that we have and that our members have. And it's exciting to know that the more coaches that we have that believe in that, we know that it's going to allow us to, you know, grow a stronger brand of like-minded people. And I think the more people like us are like this in the world, the better off the world's going to be, right? And we know it starts small, but you know, if we keep it going, you know, who knows, we can affect a lot more lives in a positive way.
Yep. Kat, you made my day.
You made my year. Thank you, Anna. I think I actually have a picture of you holding Kira, and she's like 7 weeks old, and you're talking to a client and she's like puking all over your shirt, milk everywhere. And you're just, and I'm running to you and I'm like, Anna, and you're like, just leave the baby, you're fine, just stop it. And yeah, so thanks guys.
Thank you. Hey Maria, you have anything to say, honey? Come on.
Why are you putting me on the spot for? You said enough. You said that we got married in 2015 and it was 2014.
No, I said 2014.
We had
and you looked at
Cristiano
me
in
funny.
2015. When's my birthday, Chris? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not.
You know what, guys? We just had this conversation.
In July. In July.
It's in July. Maria, I know that. It's in July. Okay, guys. So Maria's done talking. Anyone else have
Goodbye, Maria.
does anyone else have anything to say? So, okay. Well, you know what, guys? Again, we're almost at the hour mark. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you liked our story. And thank you for being on today. Appreciate it.
You guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
See everybody.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. I gotta stop it.
Yeah, when you hit end, it also stops it anyways.